Alrighty, y'all. I wanted to make another rant video. I'm on the way to work. I got a new phone with a better camera, so you can actually see my ugliness. I'm sorry I look orange. My makeup is terrible today. Yes, I wear foundation. Get over it. I'm going to set you in my cup holder. It's not the best view. Sorry. You'll see bad view of me. I'm going to hate myself for how this looks. But anyway, so the last video I posted was a while back, and I talked about politics and stuff. Since then, now, Trump is now our president-elect. He has won. Throughout the debate and the election, everything that happened with the debates and all of that, and the email stuff that he kept talking about and the stuff that was going on with him, I don't know. I heard a comparison. Somebody said choosing between Clinton and Trump is like saying, okay, you're about to have back surgery and you have two options for your surgeons. One of them is a manager from Wendy's, and that's all he's ever done is manage Wendy's. That's all he knows. And the other one has a bunch of malpractice suits against her, but you have to have the surgeon, you have to pick one. You know, in that situation, you would pick, even though they had malpractice suits, at least they have an idea of what's going on. There's a chance that you would whatever. In this situation, not so much. Now, it's that same logic being used against that statement. At what point does the bad credit on her, you know, the fact that she knows so much, well, she's got bad notions, how much bad stuff is she allowed to do before it outweighs the fact that it's better to say, I'd rather have complete chaos and not know what we're doing than pure evil? Then what level do you hit pure evil? And I'm pulling this completely off politics. I don't care. I'm not expressing to you whether I'm happy about Trump or Hillary winning or losing. It does not matter. I think it's all one shebang anyhow. That's a different conversation. My topic right now is, like I was saying, is whatever. Anyhow, so when we sit down and we talk about politics and we get into arguments and we get mad at each other and all this other stuff, people get offended, and we just live our lives how we think we should, and there are other people that are going to say that your way of living is wrong and that you need to change it, or this, that, and the other. You may think this is overly hippie sounding, whatever you want, I don't care. The biggest fault we have as humans is being human. That is the biggest fault we have. We are human. We have opinions. Opinion, and a quote I like to say is, opinion is the lowest form of human knowledge there is. It requires no facts, no backing, no reason other than your own want or will on a subject or situation. Empathy is the highest form of human communication or intelligence or whatever, because it requires one to suspend your reality for a moment to experience somebody else's reality. The problem is everybody's walking around, everybody's concerned about me. I gotta be safe, I gotta get fed, I gotta do this. I don't want the immigrants taking my food, I don't want my children starving. Everybody's concerned. All of this stuff is important, yes, but nobody takes the time to sit down and think, what is the other person going through? Republicans are right when they say, well, I don't want people mooching off the system. There are people that do mooch the system, but there are people that do not mooch the system and do need the help. I have a cousin who mooches the system. He does not go to work because the workplace is too stressful for him and he cannot work, so therefore he has disability. Now, I'm aware there's some people that might actually be the situation. This is not. He brags about the fact that his friend is a doctor and he got this for him. They worked out some deal. I don't know how it works. But Republicans are right in that sense if you don't want to take everything from what somebody's earned. But like when I'm driving down the road, I'm driving a 1999 Ford Taurus right now. This thing is $3,000. It's slowly falling apart. And I get passed by a Range Rover or a Land Rover, whatever the hell. It's $100,000. My house, which is a decently nice house that I live with my mother. I'm 18. It's a nice house. It's a suburb house, 3-bedroom, built in like 2006. Nice house. It was $90,000. A car has rolled past me that costs more than a home. What in that car literally makes it worth so much that it costs more than my home did, my house? So, like, we get to this point of having all this elaborate shit, and then there's more expensive cars and expensive this, that, and the other, and all this other stuff. I understand that if you work hard, you want to have nice things. But there is more than enough money that is being hoarded and held up by the top few and percent of whatever. I don't know if the cameras fell. I'm sorry, y'all. The top people that all have the money, the top 1%. If they were to share it between everybody equally, everybody could afford to have a nice house, live lavishly, have a new phone, and drive a car that costs $50,000 to $60,000 per person, not just a household, per person. The teenager would have a car. Everybody would live comfortably. You just couldn't have a $100,000 car. You could still have a $50,000 car, and everybody would be taken care of, and everybody would be happy. Now, that being said, this requires everybody to help out that can. If you are not able, that's the exception. But there are people, like I said, that are taking advantage of the system, and that there's nothing you can do to stop that, really, other than you hope that people decide they're going to be a good person today. I'm going to be a good person, and I'm not going to abuse the system. I'm a server. I'm on my way right now to go serve, and every night, how it works at Cracker Barrel is you get cash tips on your table, and you get credit card tips from people keeping you on the card. And they keep up with on the computer how much you got in tips on the card, and you hold on to your cash. At the end of the night, I close, so I don't have to get any signatures. If not, you have work you have to do before you leave, and you get your signatures, and when you get your signatures, you go up to the cash stand, and they give you your cash. Cracker Barrel will give you cash for your credits. So, say you got $60 in credit card tips, what they'll do instead is they'll just give you that $60 in cash up front, and then they'll take the credit $60 instead for you. They front you the money, and then you have to claim your cash. They ask you to claim your cash, and they combine all of that and tax it, take it out of your $2.13 an hour that you make as a server. My paycheck's never more than $5 after taxes are all said and done. I work a lot of hours. Anyway, so the point is you have to claim your cash tips. Your cash tips that you pick up off the table. There is nothing stopping me from making $300 in the evening and then $50 on the register. Realized I only worked 5 hours. I don't have to claim anything in cash. I made over minimum wage, so the computer's not going to question me. As long as I claim I made over minimum wage. I could get away with that, no problem. But I choose not to, because obviously I like to bitch about things. I like to complain about politics. I like to complain about stuff in general. I drive on roads, and I don't like potholes. I want to help the society I'm in, not take advantage of. And so therefore, I pay my proper taxes. And I'm aware that I cannot, just because I'm a fair person, expect other people to be fair or hope them to be fair, because that is unfair of me to do. Because I am not a Christian. I don't know what I believe, because everything is complicated. That, again, a different conversation. But for me, I just want to live my life so that priority one, what everybody needs to be concerned about, everybody is too busy people pleasing. Stop. You need to be happy. If you ain't happy, nobody else is going to be happy around you, point blank, period. Once you get yourself to a center, a level of happiness, and life sucks. So I have no advice for you there. I promise you, you will find a way to correlate what your meaning is. For me, it's friends and family. Friends and family is why I'm still here today. It is because I want to have a good relationship with my friends and my family. I wasn't raised by my mother. I was raised by my grandmother. So I'm just now starting to get a relationship with my mother. Stuff like that you learn to hold on to. Anyhow, regardless, this is going way off topic. I don't know. I've gone way off topic. I've thrown politics into it, and I've turned this into a really long conversation. It's 10 minutes now, almost, and I'm still talking to you off, and I'm sorry, y'all. This is a long video, and it's dumb. But the overall point is what inspired this conversation was I saw a quote, and I'm sure it's old as hell, and it was talking about how a master was training his whatever, what do you want to call him? They were samurais, and he was teaching them how to fight, but also be peaceful. And he was like, I want to ask you a question. We're always learning about peace and be kind and don't ever, start a fight, but you always need to be able to defend yourself, blah, 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 blah. You need to be able to kill people if necessary, this, that, and the other. But what about the peace? What about, how do you mix these two? How do you justify that? And he answered, or his answer was, it is better to be a warrior in a garden than a garden in a war. And that really hit home for me, because I've struggled because I went through some spiritual stuff. I've been Christian, I've been atheist, I've been pagan, but a lot of things. All of this, all I've wanted to do is just be at peace all the time. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of letting myself be human and fuck up and get angry. And what I've realized is that's gonna happen. You're gonna get angry. And you may want this to be a peaceful world, and that's a great way to think, the peaceful hippie. Oh, everybody should be happy. Everything will be okay. I'm sorry, the camera keeps slipping. I'm not paying attention. Everything will be okay. That's fun. That's great. That's wonderful in an ideal world, which we don't have. And until we have that, like I said, better to be a warrior in a garden than a garden in a war. Because if not, even though you may die just being a peaceful garden, if you are a caretaker of a garden, which means you put forth as much effort as you can to keep a serene, peaceful garden, but yet you stand up for something and you protect it, that is, personally, for me, a good way to look at it. Because I got into an argument on Facebook with somebody, and they were judging somebody for judging. But of course, it was a Christian, and I'm not judging Christians. I hate everybody equally. That's just a joke. But anyhow, he was talking about how you can't judge this, that, and the other. And he was talking about how despicable this person was because they judged. And I commented back, and I was like, look, I said, what you have to realize is this is America. We do not fly as much as you want to say it does, because it's all our money, it's on the dollar bill, in God we trust, whatever. Our Constitution, which trumps your paper bills of money, says that we are a secular state. There is freedom of religion, there is freedom of speech, there's freedoms that we have that you seem to want to keep for yourself. You say that we cherry pick these things, but you do it too. Both of us do this unconsciously because of the fact that it offends us. The other end offends us. So we need to learn to let that go. Just because it offends you does not matter. My manager told me last night when I was working with him, he said, Brandon, he said, the biggest problem you have is, he said, and my manager's cool, I love him to death. He's a great manager because he always talks people up. He said, Brandon, you are a beast. He said, you know what you're doing. He said, what happens is, he says, if somebody says something to you and questions you, and you let it get to you, he said, if you know in your soul, deep down inside, that you are right about a situation, or you did your situation right, he said, it don't matter even if it is another manager, even if it is me, and if you think we're wrong, just keep on smile and say yes sir, and let us think we're right, and keep on walking. Fuck what we think. He said, literally, fuck what I think. He said, because I'm not you. He said, because to me, he said, Brandon, I love you and I respect you and I trust you with my life. He said, but fuck what you think. At the end of the day, if you don't like me because of the decisions I make during this shift, oh well, I still work here, I'm still employed, I'm still your manager, get over it. If I don't like the way you are as a person, but you still work good, oh well, I gotta get over it, you're my employee. It's a two-way street. People want to separate themselves from each other and have all of this anger from me. I don't know. But back on the point of the guy saying, don't judge. I'm like, you are literally judging somebody for judging, which is contradictive. And I get that. You're saying that you shouldn't judge, blah, 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 blah. Some people may not agree with that. Not everybody is going to be a Christian who has your morals and values and follows the same code of conduct you do. So that being said, I'm not a Christian, but I don't know what I believe. I do not think it's right to judge people for certain things. If you want to wear makeup and you're a guy, go right the fuck ahead. I'm wearing it right now because it makes my face look smooth and I make better tips because I don't look pimply. if you want to dress up as a guy and you're a girl, vice versa, you want to drive a pink car, whatever, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I do not care. Judgment is not deserved. But with somebody, say, like Hitler, who's on a different level, that man did awful, terrible, evil shit to so many innocent people. At that point in time, you have harmed not just people in general, you've harmed a lot of people. And at that point, you do deserve to be judged, because you are extending your own personal reality and beliefs not only to affect other people, but to affect other people in a negative way. You're killing women and children and family in a torturous, awful way and putting them in camps. And at that point in time, you deserve to be judged. You may not think that you have the right to judge Hitler because you're a Christian, but not everybody has a God in which they fear that tells them they cannot judge. I think you shouldn't judge somebody for something that they do with their own reality, their own life, that does not harm you literally. If it harms you, oh well. I mean, if it harms you, then that's another thing. But even then, do not be angry about it. If they want to continue to harm you willingly, you then become no better if you harm them back. Now, that only goes so far, though, because like I said, better to be a warrior in a garden. So, they start poking your flowers, start sniffing them, be patient, be like, hey, try to be reasonable. They start plucking your flowers, actually hurting your garden, for real. That's your garden, that is your thing. At the end of the day, you have to go to bed with one person inside this skull, unless you have schizophrenia. I'm sure somebody's going to be angry because I said that, but it's humor. I have dark humor. If you don't like dark humor, get off my channel. Goodbye. But one person, except for the schizophrenics, inside your skull, that you have the opinion of that matters. And the thing is it's hard to think of what your opinion is. And what a lot of you are going to have to learn, and I'm pointing to probably 3 people, and I know you're there, Zach. What a lot of y'all are going to have to learn is that you are going to hate yourself more than anybody. There's going to be some people that hate your guts because of something you did that was awful, right? That they only know a few of the awful things. They don't know every single little thing you've done that you feel bad about, but you do. You're going to be the one that downplays yourself the most, and you have to learn to let it go. The past is the past. It's gone. There isn't anything you can do about it. And I know people say this all the time, and you're tired of hearing it, blah, 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 and I sound like an old person, this, that, and the other. But they're right. As much as it sucks, our parents are right, and I wish I had listened to them when I was younger. But we have to learn to forgive each other for being human, because that is our biggest fault as humans, is that we are human. Because then that means you have an opinion, and that opinion is not necessarily right or wrong. I personally think right and wrong is a human concept, due to the fact that I do not think there was a grand designed creator that set out rules and guidelines and books, or else you wouldn't have given us free will. Personally, that's what I think. If you disagree, feel free to comment. We can discuss this. Please make a comment video, not a typing. I don't like to type. Anyhow, because I don't think there was a creation, design, whatever, I don't know. For me, there is no good or bad, because I think we're all just the universe condensed in different stuff. You're Stardust, I'm Stardust, everybody's Stardust. But then you have these people being assholes about shit. Sorry, I just pulled into work and I'm staring around seeing what's going on. I'm like, oh Lord. I'm here early. I'm here like 20 minutes early. Anyhow, the earth, okay? Pretend you're not a Christian, right? And you don't have a creation story. The earth does not, see, I can get a better angle now. I can control what's going on a little bit better here. The earth does not care at all. If, like I said, we're throwing away what, if you have, you should pretend science. We're just speaking scientifically right now. The earth is a floating rock of all sorts of minerals and shit, in space, floating around the sun. We're on it. We're living. We're like, technically like animals, pests, something we are living on the Earth itself. The Earth really is going to keep on spinning the same speed around the same sun in the same universe, whether I lick a pussy or suck a dick, whether I am a Democrat or whether I am a Republican, whether I get an abortion or not, whatever hot topic it is that everybody is so fucking concerned about, whether or not that happens, this planet's still going to rotate. And if you really do hold your Christian values true and you believe your Bible and Jesus is coming back to save you and all of that, which I can respect, whatever, everybody needs to have their outlet and way of reconciling the universe. I think everybody needs to find that, and I think Christianity is that for some people. But then my mother, she's getting there, I feel. She's becoming a much better person about it. She's becoming less judgmental, in a way. Is people miss the part of the New Testament. I used to be extremely Christian and read the Bible a lot then. And then when I became an angry atheist, I read it a lot so I could prove Christians wrong. I know the Bible a lot better than a lot of Christians do, because a lot of Christians just go to church and say they read the Bible. And that's kind of amusing. But anyhow, people ignore the fact that the New Testament is about, hey, the Old Testament kind of fuck that. Put it over there. That was a wrathful, hateful God and a jealous God. Now he's perfect and loving and caring. And Jesus taught us, to be la 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 la. Jesus had and sat down and wined and dined with sluts and whores and sodomites and all this other stuff. But now we have people saying, oh, we got a drug test for food stamps. I get that. If you have money for drugs, you should have to be on food stamps. But hey, look, somebody might give you drugs if you hang out with them and they're a cool friend. And the thing is my favorite quote in all time is, and then Republican Jesus said, on to his people, only feed them if they can pass a drug test. I get that this is politics, this, that, and the other, but and then the argument suddenly becomes, well, you can't mix politics and religion. Jesus is right, but we're talking about politics, not religion. Well, where was that logic 45 minutes ago when you were arguing about gay rights? And the only reason you can argue the gay marriage is wrong is two reasons: because it doesn't naturally make a baby, which is dumb, because love is love either way, whether there's a baby or not, because people can be straight, have no baby, and be in love. Or religious values. Other than that, there is nothing that is making being gay terrible. You don't incinerate. I am not incinerated. I am gay. So it's people manipulate their religious viewpoints to hate and discriminate. And I know that sometimes it's not even in a hateful, discriminatory way that they feel. They don't realize it. It's just the way they are. Because if you are a spiritual person, whatever your spirituality may be, who you are as a core person is always going to come out in your personality. So if you're a Christian and you're a proper Christian, that's going to come out through your personality, and you're going to send signals out to people and just say little things that come to you naturally. They're habits, and I can't blame other people. Get offended by this nowadays. I understand. I get that, because I do it too. I'll catch myself making fun of Republicans and Democrats because I think that Democrats and Republicans are stupid, that we should have never split into parties anyway. Anyhow, we joke about stuff, we say stuff, we have our own agendas, whether we like to say it or not. We have what we do and do not like. And we talk about what we do and do not like in a sense of, oh, well, I want to put all this in a good light because I like it. I'm going to put all this in a negative light sense because I do not. And the person sitting next to you may or may not disagree. And although you do need to keep yourself happy, priority number one, but you can keep yourself happy without forcing your thoughts onto somebody else by impeding their happiness. If you are happy with your life, and if you think that gay marriage is wrong, that's great. Don't get one. That doesn't mean you can't be friends with a gay person. You can just be like, well, in your mind, you can quietly say to yourself in your brain, man, it sucks. I really like this guy. He's cool. It sucks that he's gay. I think he's going to hell. If you want to say that, fine. That's your choice. That's your call in your head. But do not blame anybody personally for something they can't help, or, you know, medical stuff, and then we can discuss whether or not that's a choice or not to be gay. And I'm sorry that this video is now 25 minutes long going on, and it's been everywhere. It's been wish-washy. It has not stayed to one topic, and has not made much sense. But none of my rant videos will, so this is kind of the theme of them. So welcome. Hopefully I'll be more consistent on posting and in topics. But again, overall wrap-up of the overall overview, take out the overall part. The overview of the entire conversation is that use your religion for peace, if you're going to have it. Because I understand that people are going to hold on to it dearly, and it's a lot for me to ask people just to drop religion. So please be respectful with it. Please understand that words, as much as you want to say I'm being a pussy, and oh, I need a safe place, words do hurt. Because if I walked up to you and said, fuck you and your Jesus, and the cross that he died on, I get punched in the face. I get knocked out, because that's offensive to them. That is so hurtful. Will you walk up to me and call me a faggot? Or whatever it is you can say that's hurtful and derogatory towards me. It's the same thing, but instead of a God to insult, you insulted me. I'm not equating myself to a God, disclaim, but I'm saying, you know, it's the same street, and you don't think that's the same level of thing because of the way you think, and I get that, and I understand a lot of people are just going to hate what I just said, and there's not going to be any change in their mind. But for those people that will hate me for this and will not change their mind, know that I do forgive you for being imperfect, for I am as imperfect as well as is everybody, and we all need to be more forgiving and understanding of each other. We all need to find a bottom line of comfortable life, and then we can work out the details after that. We can work out all the other shit after that. But right now, we're discussing whether or not other men should be sucking dicks from or men should be sucking dicks from other men, when we still can't even feed everybody, when we still can't even clothe everybody, still can't house everybody. I know that's a big effort, but do you know how much money goes into producing media? The TV industry media is no longer necessary. That could be cut down, and if these CEOs really cared about shit, they'd be like, okay, we're switching everything over to the internet, going down to minimal media budget, and taking the rest of this money that I don't need. Keep enough to live comfortably. I'm not saying give away your fortune. Keep enough to live comfortably, because you earn that's your business. But if all the big CEOs did this and shrink down, you would have hundreds of millions or billions or hundreds of billions. I don't know how much money they have. Could be a shit ton. It is a shit ton. I don't know how much that shit ton is. Could feed a lot of people, could house a lot of people, could do a lot of things. Yes, we need to take in some refugees, I think. I'm sorry, this is a completely different subject. But, I think we need, the refugees, we need to take in some, but we don't need to take in all of them. We need to help people other places, too. And we also need to help people here. We have a huge foster care issue here. We have a huge starving children issue here as well. So, I'm sorry I'm getting off topic again. I'm going to shut up this time. Overall point, be more peaceful, be kind, be forgiving. I get angry right now because I get heated and I say stuff, but then I immediately rebreathe and calm down, like right now. And I'm aware that even though these people make me angry and it makes me question how they have a brain and how they're the same species as I am sometimes, they probably think the same of me. And who am I to say they're wrong? Until the moment I die, I cannot prove them wrong. If Jesus were to come down from the clouds right now and raptured everybody, it is possible. There's a 0.0001% chance that it actually wasn't Jesus. It was all a hoax put together by the government to trick a handful of people or however many people they want to. That's a possibility. I'm not saying that that's likely to happen. I'm just saying that is possible. So we can't really sit here and argue about this so wholeheartedly and defend and make laws and policy and end lives over, at the end of the day, unprovable information until death. I gotta go into work in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and go in and say hi to everybody, get something to drink. Sorry if I sound tired. I have not slept at all because I'm on a new phone, new screen. It's not as terrible. But, yeah, sorry about it being long, and trailed way off into many different topics, but I like to talk about stuff, and wanted to post this on here, so. Don't know when I'll post this, because I don't want to use my data, because I don't have unlimited, so I will wait until I have Wi-Fi, so it might be this evening, it might be the next day, it'll be whatever, but I will post it. I might be doing a surprise event, which I will be posting on a private video on my Tumblr, which I will put a link to on a different video telling you about this video. I'm probably going to be doing something that is it'd be pretty cool. A lot of people might want to watch it. I want to try and make a video about it, but it is not PG or PG-13 or R. It is rated X due to the subject material. Keep that in mind. Details will be given, well, the link will be given to the Tumblr to a video that will have details about the video that's attached into the link of that video, of the actual video, before I get you to that video, because the fact that what I say and I'm talking about in this event, my family might find out, and I do not want them to. So, anyhow, I know YouTube is going to hate me. I ramble. I'm going to stop now. I'm hitting the stop button. Goodbye, and I'm sorry.